The Nintendo GameCube. Just look at this thing. It's a cube, it's the first console to have a handle, it came in multiple colors, and it's awesome. John and I spent a lot of time playing the GameCube. For such a small library of games, the GameCube has more than its share of quality titles. But first, let's talk about the console itself and the impact it made. Basically, the GameCube was a commercial failure. Not as bad as the Virtual Boy, but was still a disappointment sales-wise. Nintendo released the GameCube in 2001 and had intended to sell 50 million units by 2005. Sadly, the GameCube was only able to sell 22 million units before it was discontinued in 2007. Why did this happen? Well, the 6th generation of gaming marked the first generation where gamers not only wanted an enjoyable system, but a multitasking device. For example, the PlayStation 2 could play audio CDs, DVDs, and supported online play. And as we all know, the PS2 vastly outsold the GameCube. And still, you would think that having quality titles would really determine the popularity of the console. So again, why were sales low? Unlike previous Nintendo consoles, the GameCube didn't launch with a full-fledged Mario title. Instead, we got Luigi's Mansion, which was an alright game with great sales. But you can't deny that gamers wanted a strong Mario title. Sorry, Luigi. Also, the Nintendo GameCube didn't really bring anything new to the table. Let's take a moment to look at Nintendo's other consoles. The NES gave us the D-pad, which soon became a standard on pretty much every other controller design from then on. The Super Nintendo took control of the 16-bit generation with revolutionary graphics and audio. It also introduced shoulder buttons on its controller, giving players and developers a total of 8 buttons to play with. The Nintendo 64 revolutionized the controller again by repopularizing the analog stick in its quirky yet extremely versatile design, allowing players to hold the controller in 2 different positions. Firing a gun would never be the same again, as the Rumble Pack allowed players to feel every shot or bump during gameplay. And finally, the N64 allowed 4 players to play simultaneously without the need for an additional peripheral. Even the Virtual Boy was able to offer something completely fresh, even though it was kinda painful. Essentially, the GameCube didn't have a hook. Sure, it has those tiny little discs, but those weren't enough to sway gamers from choosing other systems. But enough of the bad, let's get to the good stuff. Although the GameCube's controller didn't introduce anything revolutionary, it is a great controller that was designed with simplicity and comfort in mind. And it's still the controller of choice for most hardcore Super Smash Bros. Brawl players. Besides, who doesn't love the oversized A button? It's huge, you can't miss it. And unlike the original Xbox controller, it fits great in both large and small hands. The GameCube had a couple of cute Easter eggs up its sleeve as well, for those who looked hard enough. Try holding down the Z button as it's starting up. Now try it with a couple of friends. And it's pretty endearing how the gray yellows over the years, just like its predecessors. Like the Wii, third-party titles had a tough time with sales numbers on the GameCube. Of course, with the few numbers the GameCube sold, the problem was definitely compounded. Some developers even ceased production for the GameCube. Still, there was an overabundance of quality titles. Resident Evil 4, long hailed as the best of the series, was originally an exclusive title, and it's where the unique and funky RTS Pikmin started off. Double Dash gave Mario Kart fans the choice of 2 characters to race with, and the ability to hold 2 items. Okay, enough listing things. Plenty of classic franchises showed some GameCube love, sometimes in completely unexpected ways, and plenty of new franchises cropped up as well. There was definitely no shortage of quality gaming on Nintendo's GameCube. It may have resembled something made by Fisher-Price with its friendly indigo color, its boxy and plastic look, and of course, the handle. But it was definitely worth the investment. Well, until the Wii was released and was completely backwards compatible, effectively rendering the GameCube obsolete. But for all those who still own and cherish their GameCubes, remember to push the button when ejecting those tiny discs, and happy gaming!